My presentation is about biodiesel, and I'm going to cover a wide range of topics: origin, production, environmental impact, economic impact, and where the industry is kind of going. So, jumping right in, biodiesel is an increasingly popular type of biofuel. It's made from sort of scrap materials, which is going to include animal fats and recycled cooking oils and other oils. It's considered an advanced biofuel in America because it can be used in current diesel engines without any sort of modification. So right off the line, our current diesel engines can be using this biodiesel. It's going to come from, like I said before, it's going to come from recycled oils and animal fats, which makes it a biomass-based sustainable fuel source. And that's going to be kind of important later when we're talking about reducing carbon footprint. It's produced through a process called transesterification. The full definition is laid out right there, but basically what this is you take a blend of those animal fats and those recycled oils, you mix them with methanol, as you can see in that diagram below, and what you're going to get is a resulting mix of fatty esters and glycerin. That glycerin is going to be a byproduct, but those fatty esters are going to create your biodiesel, and that's what you're looking at. Now, that's not my figure right there, so the source citation is right next to it. All right, development status. Biodiesel has been on the market for roughly 30 years now, so it's not super brand new. And the proponents are focused on sustainable development of a renewable and recycled fuel. Again, this is going to kind of come up later when we're talking about environmental impact. But basically, the significance of that is right now there's a very strong emphasis on creating renewable fuel sources, so that we don't have to rely as much on petroleum. Like it says there, an estimated 78% of diesel using vehicles are approved for biofuel up to 20% concentration. That's what that B20 means, is 20% biodiesel. It's going to be mixed with some other stuff, including petroleum ingredients and petroleum-based diesel. Now, the goal, of course, is to get up to B100, where it's just straight biodiesel. Impact on the carbon footprint. Kind of talked about this a little bit already. It reduces the carbon footprint because it's using recycled materials, which one, eliminates waste, puts it to good use. And two, it's also using less petroleum. Now, like I've already mentioned, there is still inclusion of petroleum-based ingredients like classical petroleum-based diesel. And of course, the goal is to gradually reduce the percentage of petroleum that's needed to produce biodiesel. Now, economic impact is very great. Like I mentioned, it's kind of an up and coming industry, this sustainable fuel sources. In 2021 alone, which is the last year that data was available, 2.8 billion gallons of biodiesel were created, which fed 65,000 jobs and created $780 million in economic activity, which is pretty significant, right? Now, producing biofuel has two main economic benefits for us being the United States. Number one, it increases the GDP, which is the economic value of goods produced in America. And then also it reduces our trade deficit, so we're less reliant on foreign countries for petroleum. Public communication, there are plenty of workshops, conferences, all that's marketed towards other industrial professionals and commercial companies. But as far as getting the word out to just the general public, that's where you're going to see news articles and highlights, and sometimes the biodiesel magazine, depending on who's reading. But there are plenty of outlets for people to learn all sorts of stuff about biodiesel and other biofuels. The next steps, where this industry is kind of looking like it's going, it's doing very well, right? It's only been on the market 30 years, but as we mentioned, $80 billion $780 million in economic activity. It's pretty significant. So strong industry. My guess is that they're going to continue to manufacture and promote biodiesel and look for ways to use more straight biodiesel and less petroleum. And my plan of action, if costs were not a factor, would be to create a research and development lab in the Research Triangle in North Carolina. That way you're getting a bunch of bright young minds working on the biofuel project. And just kind of like continue to promote biodiesel on industrial and basic commercial levels, so to people and to companies, and then secure domestic government and foreign government contracts for biodiesel so you can start selling it in larger quantities. And those right there are my sources. Thank you.